Hello everyone, welcome back. In this part, we're going to talk about JavaScript Math object. In JavaScript, we have object of math, which is a static object that we can use without creating the object. And we can do some math things which are a little difficult, more simpler with this object. We have a bunch of properties inside of our math object that we're going to call. First of all, let's say here we have variable, and here we define our math object property to that variable. So first of all here, what we have is this Euler number, and here we're going to console log our variable right here. And now if we run, you can see that we got this number. After Euler's number, we have our pi number. That again, if we run, you can see we got this number right here. After this, we got our square root of 2, which is sqrt, and then 2 right here. And if we run, again, we got the result. And as same as this, we have square root of 1 division by 2, which if we want to get that, we need to use 1, then 1 underline, and then our 2 right here. And if we run this, you see that we got this result right here. After this, we have 2 static natural logarithm of 2 and 10, which if we want to get them, we use simple ln right here. And then if we use 2, we got 2's, and if we use 10, we got 10's one. After this, if we want to get base 2 logarithm of Euler's number, we can use this log right here, then our base, which is 2, and after this, the Euler number. And if we run, you can see that we got the result. And just as same as this, we got the base 10 logarithm of e, which if we use 10 right here and run, you can see that we got that result. After these static numbers, we have a bunch of methods that we can use on our numbers in JavaScript. So let's say here we have some variable of b, which has number 3.6 right here. The first method that we can use on this is our Math.round function, which is going to return this number rounded to its nearest integer. So if this digit is lower than 5, it's going to give us this number, and if this digit is above 5, it's going to give us this number plus 1, which in this case 4 is the nearest number. So if we use our round function right here and pass our value of b and run our code, you can see that we got the value of 4 because this number is nearer to 4 than 3. But if we have this 3.3, for example, and run this again, we got the value of 3. After this, we have function of ceil, which what this does is going to return number rounded up to its nearest integer. So here we're going to have 4, of course, but if we have this in 3.2, again, this is going to give us value of 4. And it doesn't matter how small is this digit. Again, this is going to give us number rounded up to its nearest integer. And just opposite of this, we have our floor method, which this does exactly the opposite of that. So what digit here we have, it doesn't matter. It's going to give us rounded down the number which is right here. So it's going to clear all of the digits and give us this number only. And if we run, you can see that we got only 3 right here. And it doesn't matter how big are these digits. Again, we're going to have this 3. And this function is going to round down the number to its nearest integer. And then we have another function of Math.trunc that we can use is just as same as our floor method, which is going to return the integer part of our number. So if we run, you can see we got only this 3. And again, it doesn't matter what number that we got after this point. It's going to grab only the integer part of our number. Then we have another function called sign. And what this does is going to give us 3 values, which is if this number is negative, if it is positive, or if it is null. So if we have, for example, number 4 and run our code, you can see that we got the value of 1, which means positive. If we got the -4 right here and run our code, you can see that we got our -1, which declares that our number is negative. And at the last, we have our 0, that if we run, this gives us this 0, which means that our number is null or 0. The next function that we're going to talk about is our POW function, which this is going to grab 2 parameters from us. For example, 2 right here and 3 right here. And this is going to return the value of 2 to the power of 3. So this is as same as we have 2 multiplied 3 times right here. So this is just like this, which the result should be 8 right here. And of course, you can have any number as you want, and it's going to give you the value. The next function that we're going to talk about is our SQRT function, which this is going to return the square root of what number that we pass into this function. So, for example, if we pass this 64 and run our code, you can see that we got this 8. Of course, you can do any numbers that you can have. For example, 25 is going to give us 5, or any numbers that you want. It's going to calculate it and return the result for us. After this, we have another function, which is ABS right here. And what number we pass into this is going to return the positive value of this number. So for example, if we have 45 here, which is positive, again, it's going to return us the value of 45. But if we have -45 here and run, again, you can see we got the positive 45 and not the negative. After this, we have 2 similar functions, which are SIN and COS, which this is going to give us sine of the angle given in radians, and this is going to give us cosine of the angle that we pass. And so let's use our SIN and sin function right here. And here we need pass our angle in radian. And for converting our degree to radian, we can use this formula, which is our degree that we want. Let's say we want degree of 45 multiplied by pi number, which you know that we can use our Math.pi right here to get that number, and divide this by 180. And if we run now, you can see that we got the sine of this angle. And of course, let's say we want sine of 90, which is 1. And if we run, you can see that we got that. And here we can give any degree that we want. And this is going to give us the sine of it. And just as same as this, we can have cosine. So let's say here we want to have cosine of 0, which if we run, you can see that we got 1. And let's say we want cosine of 30 degrees, that if we run, you can see that we got 0.8 and some other digits right here. After this, we have 2 other functions that we have covered in the last parts, but this is another reminder of that, which let's say here we have this min function, and bunch of numbers right here. So inside of this min function, we need to pass some numbers to this function. And this function is going to grab the minimum and lowest number between of these numbers, which is this 5 right here. And if we run, you can see that we got this 5. And just as same as this, we have our max, which is going to grab the maximum number between of this, which is this number right here, and return that to us. Another function that we can have here is our log or log function, which is going to return the natural logarithm of the number that we passed right here. So if we want the natural logarithm of 2 right here and run the code, you can see that we got this number. And if we want to have base 2 logarithm of some numbers, here we use log2 in the function name and pass our number right here. So the base 2 logarithm of 34 is this number that you can see right here. And just as same as this, we can have the base 10 logarithm of our number, which you can see right here. And we're going to use log10 as our function name. After this, we have another function inside of our math object, which is our random function. And what this does is going to give us some number between 1 and 0. And it's random each time. So if you run this multiple times, you can see each time you are going to get different numbers. But if you want to have only integers and not this type of thing, you can multiply this by 10, which now is going to give you some number between 0 and 10, as you see right here. And if you want to have only integer, you can use your Math.floor that is going to grab only the integer part of that number for you. So now if you run, you can see that you got numbers between 0 and 10, which they are integer and solid 1 digit. And you can use this to get random items of your array too. So let's say here we have some simple array, and let's say here we have 10 items inside of our array. And now if we console log this array and we put the index of it, this random number that we created right here, and use this, if we run, each time we're going to have different and random item of our array, just like this. Please give a like and subscribe to catch next videos.